Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Speed Player. Doing something new. Always new, fun, exciting things. Yeah. New, exciting, fun.
Speaking Player.
What's up, everybody? And I am coming at you with another topic. If you know anything about me at all, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know, I don't judge you. But if you do know anything about me, you know that I am listening to some doggone podcasts. I love me some podcasts all day, every day. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to 86 podcasts. That's too many. That's too many podcasts. But there are so many good ones out there, and I have so much trouble. Every single time I finish a podcast or I get to the point where I'm like, finally, I go through their backlog and I'm only listening to one episode a week, then I discover something new, and it'll be like, so many episodes, and I've gotten to the point where I'm so used to having something going in my ear. I feel like I'm talking to my therapist right now, by the way. It's gotten to the point where I've got the sound in my ear so constantly that I've started to speed it up and up and up and up and up, and now I'm at like 1.7 speed on all my podcasts. That's not healthy. Some of them I listen to at 2 times speed. It's too many, but I love them. And so I thought I would share with you guys my top 5 favorite podcasts. This was a really hard list to come up with because I kind of love all of them, and I have so many, and I don't want to insult anyone that already has a podcast because I love their podcasts. Odds are I listen to them too, and I love them, and they just weren't enough to make it to the top 5 for me. And honestly, this top 5, if you asked me tomorrow, I'd probably change it. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you guys my top 5 favorite podcasts. Please let me know yours down below, or yeah, do. I was going to say maybe don't because I don't have enough time, but I want to know because I am always looking for another podcast. These are my top 5 favorite podcasts. My number one best favorite podcast. I listen to it. It's the one that always makes it to the top of my playlist. Even if I already have things in the queue, I put them up to number 1, and it's every Friday, and I love it. It's so good. If you're not familiar with Steve Zaragoza and Mike Falzone and their brilliant podcast, Dynamic Banter, then you need to get in on it. It's so funny. It makes me cry laughing. I will be in bed listening to this podcast, and I will just have tears streaming down my face, trying not to wake up my wife or the baby, and just be enjoying it so much. It's so good. It's so funny. It's very kind of irreverent, kind of out there humor. Maybe you don't get it. It is right at my par. I mean, if you like my comedy, if you like my bits or anything that I do, they are so much better at it. They're so good at it, and they make me laugh harder than anyone ever has. So for sure, check out Dynamic Banter. My number 2 podcast is one of the longest standing, one of those that has been there since almost the very beginning. And here we have Comedy Bang Bang. If you're not familiar with Scott Aukerman's magnum opus here, Comedy Bang Bang, I don't know if he would appreciate that or not, because he also does Between Two Ferns and all these other things. He's a genius. He's a very funny guy, but I like that podcast. They have on a bunch of different characters. They have an open door policy where they let anybody in to come and talk, which of course means that all these random characters, normally Paul F. Tompkins and Lauren Lapkus, who are also of Freedom, which is another good one, come in and do bits with him, and he is up to just, over 500 episodes at this point. Just keeps them coming every single week. They're so doggone good, so doggone funny, and the character work is always really fun and different, and the recurring characters are a lot of fun too. And so Comedy Bang Bang, that's number 2 for me. Number 3, this one is kind of out there. Maybe some of you guys appreciate it. Maybe some of you don't. I'm not trying to push it on you or anything, but I love the Drunk Ex-Pastors. Being a current pastor, a current not drunk pastor, it's a nice podcast to listen to. They present kind of a different side of things than you might hear every single day. Obviously, ex-pastors, right? They're no longer Christians necessarily. One of them, Christian, ironically, is an atheist, whereas Jason is it's hard to describe where he is currently. Most recently, I think he was Catholic. Yeah. Something like that. Anyway, it's just interesting to hear some religious talks and hear them kind of rant and rave on the current news policies. This one's not for kids. Honestly, none of these have been for kids. I don't know why I said that. And so yeah, Drunk Ex-Pastors, Jason Stellman and Christian Kingery. They're a fun duo. They talk about interesting things. I like them. And yeah, recommend them highly. Number 4, I got to give it up for the girls. I love What's Good Games. If you've never checked out What's Good Games, it is my source for all of my gaming news content. It's the place where it all comes together in one package, and I really like the way that those 3 present it. We have Brittany Brombacher, Andrea Renee, and Steimer, and the 3 of them present topics week to week on various different things that they do, different games that they play, conventions that they go to, and they just present the news in such a nice way, and I like them a lot. They're really fun, they're really funny, and they put together the content in a way that I like to absorb so that I don't have to read a dozen different articles. I can just listen to them be silly and ridiculous for a couple hours. So that's a great one as well for those gamers out there. And finally, for my 5th podcast, I had to do one. All these others are ones that are currently going, and I tried to keep it to ones that were just currently going, not ones that had either come and gone and ended or any of those kind of serialized ones. But of course, one of the best known out there is Serial with Sarah Koenig. Everybody loves Serial, and I do too. It's definitely up there. It's probably number 6, but number 5 is actually another production by NPR there, S-Town. If you've never heard of S-Town, it does stand for a dirty word. And so again, none of these have been very kid friendly, but this is an excellent podcast as we dive in to this crazy character in this crazy town, and we get to hear about his story and how he lives and how he deals in this place. It is heartwarming. It is inspiring. It brings tears to my eyes every single time, and I absolutely love S-Town. It's a quick listen. It's good for a road trip and just to power through, just like Serial, very similar to that, and I absolutely love it. So those are my top 5. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Do you have more that you want to recommend? Do you think that I have bad taste? Do you think that I have great taste? I don't know, but I would love to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below. That's right. A new challenger approaches. That's right, guys. There's another podcast in the realm. That's the reason I'm doing this video, letting you know that I have just started a podcast, hopefully for real this time. Some of you may remember that I have had a podcast in the past that didn't ever go anywhere because it was just probably not the best idea quality-wise. But now I'm starting something new, something exciting, something fun. It's called The Hypothesists. And so I've officially posted the trailer. The first episode will be going up very, very soon. And I hope that you guys will go and find it on your favorite podcast service. Let me know what you think. Give me any ideas that you might have. And I just hope that you enjoy what I'm putting together there. Just kind of a brief synopsis of what it is. I bring on a special guest, somebody that I consider an expert, and we tackle a series and ask a question about that series. So that's kind of a confusing way to describe it. But imagine if we were talking about Pokemon, talking about Batman, talking about Rick and Morty, talking about any of your favorite pop series, and then we take something and we twist it just a little bit. We ask just a little different question. The example I give in the trailer is in Dragon Ball Z. There was a video game, one of the Budokai series. They had a what-if scenario where Krillin pushed Android 18 out of the way and got absorbed, and so Cell turned into a Krillin Cell. And so it was that what if Cell didn't absorb Android 18 but absorbed somebody else. So we're going to be asking these what if questions and hypothesizing together. I'm going to have on special people that know a lot about a series, and they will come on and present their findings as well. And we will present whatever we think would happen if this hypothetical scenario were to go down. So I want to know your thoughts as well. I want to know what you think about this podcast. I want to know what you think about this video and my podcast tastes. And I hope that you will consider supporting me there as you have supported me so well on here. Thank you guys so much for being here, for watching these videos, and for keeping up with me. I cannot wait to see you guys on my social medias. If you would please check those out. Let me know what you think about all these new projects I'm starting. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. And what? Thanks for watching my videos. I don't know why you do it, but I really appreciate it.